Hello everyone, welcome to the class PM. In this video we are going to talk about the reproduction in the organisms. What is reproduction? Firstly, in this session we will discuss about reproduction, what is reproduction, why reproduction is necessary, and what are the different modes of the reproduction in different organisms. First of all, we will discuss about what is reproduction, and before that we will classify the organisms in which the reproduction occurs. What are the types of the organisms? Organisms can be classified into two broad categories. One is the non-cellular organisms, those organisms which are not made up of any kind of the cell. And second category is those organisms which are made up of cells. So I have described it here, I have given a flow chart. Organisms can be classified into non-cellular organisms, those organisms which are not made up of cells. And the second category is the cellular organisms which are made up of cells. And if they are made up of cells, some of them contains only one cell, that is they are unicellular, and some of them are multicellular, it means they are made up of more than one cell. As far as non-cellular organisms are concerned, the viruses are the best examples of the non-cellular organisms. How they replicate, how they reproduce, this is the secondary, this I will take in the next topic, but they also reproduce, non-cellular organisms do reproduce. And cellular organisms, in case of unicellular organisms, which contains both prokaryotes as well as unicellular eukaryotes, they also reproduce. We will discuss in this section how they reproduce. And multicellular organisms, of course, that is plants, animals, and these fungi. And what are the modes of the reproduction in these organisms? We will discuss thoroughly in this very session. So first of all, what is reproduction? Reproduction is a biological process in which a parent gives rise to an offspring, and those offsprings may be similar as well as identical, or only similar to them but not identical. It depends upon the type of the reproduction you are talking about. If we are talking about asexual reproduction, the offsprings are similar as well as identical to their parents, because the mode of reproduction is very similar. There is no genetic variation, there is no recombination, there is no crossing over as far as sexual reproduction is concerned. So the offsprings are just clones, they are carbon copy of their parents. As in sexual reproduction, there is variation, there is genetic recombination, and offsprings may be similar to their parents, but they are not at all identical to their parents. So why reproduction is necessary? Simply, reproduction is necessary in order to continue the life. Reproduction literally means the continuity. Reproduction is production of the new organisms from the existing ones, from the parent. It is very necessary because each and every organism has a fixed lifespan. A fixed lifespan means, what is lifespan? Lifespan means, here I have written here, the period from birth to natural death. During the course of this lifespan, these organisms tend to reproduce in order to exist. For existence, they reproduce, they form their offsprings. They leave their offsprings behind before the natural death or whatever, before the death. So, but the most important thing which you need to know is that the lifespan is not correlated to the size of organisms. What does it mean? It means that if we talk of an elephant, the lifespan of the elephant is 60 to 90 years. The size of the elephant is very large. But if we talk of the parrot is some size is very small, but its lifespan is 140 years. So the lifespan is not correlated with the size of the organism. Here, the butterfly, I have mentioned some examples where butterfly has 1 to 2 weeks of the lifespan. So it can live only 1 or 2 weeks. After that, it undergoes the process of death. The parrot has 140 years, then crocodile has 52 to 60 years. And you see the banyan tree has more than 200 years of the lifespan. This is about the lifespan and the reproduction. What is reproduction and what is lifespan? How this lifespan varies, I have represented this by giving some examples. Now in this session we will discuss about what are the different types of the reproduction based on the type of organism you are talking about. As I have described in the previous session that organisms are non-cellular as well as cellular, and there are two modes of the reproduction among the organisms. One is the asexual mode of reproduction, and the second is the sexual mode of reproduction. In this session, I'm going to talk about only sexual reproduction. What is asexual reproduction? How it is favorable? Why asexual reproduction takes place in certain organisms, not sexual reproduction? We will discuss about in this session. So, asexual mode of reproduction involves only a single parent. Unlike in the sexual reproduction, where two parents are involved mostly. So, asexual reproduction involves only a single parent. It means that there is no formation of the gametes. Gametes do not participate at all in case of asexual mode of reproduction. However, gametes may form, but their gametes do not participate in the process of this very reproduction. And there is second important thing is there is no genetic variations among offsprings. The offsprings are simply called clones. So see, this is a cell, and if this divide, this the number of the chromosomes in a cell is denoted as 2, and if it is 3, and then it is triploid. And when it divides mitotically simply, then this results in the two cells. These two cells will be identical as well as similar to their parent. See here, in this case, the chromosome number is 2n. The daughter cell also has 2n, and this daughter cell has also 2n number of chromosomes that is diploid. So they are genetically identical as well as they are, structurally identical. There is no genetic variation. There is no morphological variation. However, in some cases, genetic variation may occur if mutation occurs in the genetic material, but in most cases they are genetically as well as they are morphologically similar. So I have mentioned here there is no genetic variation among the offsprings. Though genetic variations are there, they are simply called the clones. Clones are the carbon copies of the parent cell. So there are different modes of the asexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction shows different modes such as fission, such as budding, such as fragmentation, such as parthenogenesis. We will discuss them one by one. See, what is fission? Fission is simply the division of the parent cell into two daughter cells. Here I have seen that in case of amoeba, I have given an example of amoeba. However, it also occurs in paramecium. It also occurs in a bacteria. So I have given an example with diagrammatic representation of amoeba. This is the amoeba, and this is the nucleus of the amoeba. This is the parent cell. And in the second case, when it develops, it further, the nucleus of this amoeba divides into two. So here is the division of the nucleus. Now, in the third, as it goes on, this plasma membrane invaginates. This is the invagination. This is the invagination of the plasma membrane. The plasma membrane a bit shrinks at a particular place, and this ultimately results into the segregation of these nucleus into two cells. When the cytoplasm divides, this results into the two cells, and two cells contain the nucleus. And in this way, this type of reproduction occurs simply by the division. This is the fission, means simply the division of the parent cell into two daughter cells. Fission may be multiple fission as well. This is the binary fission. Fission may be multiple fission as well, in which the nucleus undergo multiple divisions, in which nucleus early divides into 2, then 2 divides into 4, and 4 divides into 8 cells. Accordingly, the cytoplasm inside divides into equal parts, and more than 2 cells form as a result of the division. These are called the multiple fission. Multiplication does occur in the nature as well. Second case is the budding. I have given an example as far as the yeast is concerned. The budding in the yeast, Sarcomacetes cerevisiae. See here, this is a yeast. This is a yeast cell, and this is the vacuole in the yeast, and it also contains a nucleus. See, as it develops and it proceeds ahead, there is the bud formation in the yeast. This is the bud formation, and simultaneously the nucleus undergoes division. This division of nucleus is actually, in biology, this term is used, chirokinesis. Chirokinesis means division of the nucleus. The nucleus divides into two, and this bud ultimately separates from the parent body, and this nucleus migrates, it divides, this nucleus migrates into this bud, and after that this bud will detach from the parent body, and it results into the two daughter cells, and this daughter cell will develop individually, and this will develop individually. This process is called the budding. This budding occurs in the most of the organisms. I have shown here only in case of the yeast for better understanding. The next phase of mode of asexual reproduction is the fragmentation. Fragmentation is simply, it occurs in the flatworms, in the Platyhelminthes. It also occurs in a Spirogyra. It's a common mode of reproduction in algae, or in most cases in algae. What happens in the fragmentation? The parent body fragments into a number of the pieces, and each and every small piece develops into a new individual. This is the simplest, most common reproduction in algae. The algae fragments into a number of small pieces, and those small pieces have capability to develop individually new this alga. Now, next mode of reproduction is very important for examinations as well, for competitive examinations, that is parthenogenesis. And in the next video, we will discuss about parthenogenesis in detail. And apart from parthenogenesis, we will discuss also what is regeneration, how regeneration occurs. Thank you.